Okay, game. Yun. So, good day and magandang gabi sa internal team ng Team Bear. So, today is July 10, 2024, around 8:53 p.m. Philippine time. So, 30 minutes before the market opens in the US market. So, in this video, ang gagawin natin is basically a midweek market update or midweek situational awareness. Basically, ang gusto kong mangyari dito is to help everyone become updated with what's happening with the market, no, on the first half of the trading week para din ma-level set natin yung sarili natin and maging align tayo for the upcoming trading sessions or actually yung second half of the trading week. So medyo may mga high impact news tayong experience and my experience this week. So actually kanina, madaling araw, yesterday 10 p.m. Philippine time, Fed Chair Powell made a testimony in the Senate. So yun yung semi-annual testimony niya. And actually, medyo market moving siya, no? So before we start with our indices watch, discuss ko muna line by line yung summary ng testimony ni Fed Chair Powell, no? So point number one, sabi niya na yung Q1 2024 data daw did not support confidence in inflation and yung path to rate cuts. So medyo hawkish kagad yung lumalabas na tone ni Fed Chair Powell, no? Pangalawa, rate cuts daw not appropriate until greater confidence in inflation is heading to 2%. So I think I call this bullshit or parang maybe ginawa niya lang yan or sinabi niya lang yan para um, mag mag-calm down muna yung market since the market is printing new all-time highs and recently nag-rally siya, no? Nag-rally siya. So coming from this base, breakout, and syempre if magbigay ng dovish remarks si Fed Chair Powell, then that will add fuel to the market rally. So point number three, cutting rates too late could unduly weaken the economy. So this is actually a dovish remark. Kumbaga, may paki pa rin sila sa economy and sa growth ng economy. Next, the US economy daw is expanding at a solid pace. So, okay. Actually, para sa akin, very well known naman na okay naman yung US economy. Although, nagwe-weaken na yung labor market. Labor market. So, doon papasok yung point number 5. Labor market conditions now have cooled but remain strong. Actually, I call this bullshit as well. So, kung titignan natin yung unemployment data, unemployment rate data last week, pati yung NFP. So, unemployment data pa lang, kita na natin almost 4 to 5 data prints. Nagkakaroon tayo ng 0.1 increase or 0.1% increase in unemployment rate. So, medyo yan, trend na siya. It's considered as a trend na humihina yung labor market or tumataas ang unemployment rate. And that's gonna be a problem. Problem siya na kailangan solusyonan ng Fed. So maybe they will cut rates sooner or later. They will cut rates sooner or later. So point number 6, elevated inflation is not the only risk we face. Blah blah blah. Tapos the Fed needs more data pa daw before beginning rate cuts. Okay, sige. So hawkish remark siya. Tignan natin ano yung market reaction yesterday. Actually, medyo bearish yung candle yesterday with the SPY. So we can see na it pushed to break all-time highs. Tried to print new all-time highs. Actually, it printed new all-time highs, but at the end of day, nagano siya, nag-close below this previous candle high, yung Monday candle. So producing this bearish indecision candle. So you can call it as graveyard doji, kung ano man gusto mo itawag dyan, RIP. Pero given na talagang magko-consolidate tayo 'di ba? As I've discussed, nasa mid-stage target na rin tayo. Mid-stage markup phase target na rin tayo with the SPY. So expecting talaga tayo ng profit taking at the 555 level. So ito yung 1618 target which is at the 555 level. So if we're gonna be strict with our measured target or swing low to swing high measure to get our 1618, nasa 555 siya. Doesn't matter, you can treat it as a range. So bottom line, it's just usual profit taking. Actually, yung hawkish remarks ni Fed Chair Powell yesterday, honestly, medyo na-shrug off siya ng market. If hindi nagustuhan ng market yung remarks ni Fed Chair Powell yesterday, then dapat medyo bearish engulfing candle yung ginawa ng SPY. And even the Qs. Tama? Di ba? Even the Qs. So the Qs actually is trying or testing, about to test the $500 mark, $500 level. So that's around number, honestly, what I think, no, we're gonna also experience some profit taking at this level. So it's either consolidate, that's the best case scenario, mag-tighten tayo at this area. But since we will be having CPI and PPI tomorrow and on Friday, so I'm expecting na dalawa lang yan eh. If good news, yung PPI, lower than expected, we might move higher, break above 500. If higher than expected, nagkaroon ng re-inflation, then we might move lower. Most probably, we will retest this 490 level, 490 level. So, dalawang scenario lang naman yun eh, no? For the coming days of this trading week. So, that's a SPY in the Qs. Sa mid-caps natin, actually, we can see that, ano talaga eh, mahina yung mid-caps natin. Below the 100, below the 50, below the 20-day and 10-day moving average. Still inside this range. So basically, as long as we are still below the 100-day moving average, no touch with mid-caps. So IWM, Russell 2000 ETF, our small cap benchmark. So right now, no signs of strength pa rin. Medyo volatile movement yung ginawa niya for the past 3 days since Friday. So Friday moved lower, closed below the 100-day moving average. On Monday, it recovered above it. But yesterday, it got faded as well. Dahil na rin dun sa, sa hawkish remarks ni Fed Chair Powell, most likely. So, syempre, ayaw ng mga small cap investors na magkaroon ng higher for longer scenario. Since very interest rate sensitive ang IWM. Okay. So actually, hindi pa tapos yung testimony ni Fed Chair Powell. Meron pa siyang round 2 today. May round 2 pa siya today. Mamaya ulit, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. So, antabayanan natin. But honestly, same shit. Ganun pa rin siguro yung gagawin niya. Ganun pa rin yung sasabihin niya. Paulit-ulit lang. They need more data. Inflation will... we need more inflation data. We need more proof na nag-weaken yung economy before we cut rates. Pero bottom line dyan, yun nga, bottom line dyan, yung pinaka-importante talaga yung expectation ng bond market din, no? They are pricing in, actually, to rate cuts. So, high probability rate cut this September, November. Actually, September pati December, dalawang rate cut. Dalawang 25 basis point rate cuts. So, that's some improvement actually. 80% tumaas yan since the unemployment rate data print. Okay. So, yun yung small caps natin. Let's look at RSP, S&P 500, equal weighted. So, still above the 100-day. Okay pa naman. Nandito pa rin siya sa inside bar na yan, yung mother bar na yan. So, dalawa lang yan eh. If we move lower, then stay away from non-mega cap S&P 500 names. If we break above this RTL, then okay. So, sa equal weighted Qs, ganun, although medyo magkano sila, may divergence in terms of price action. Mas malakas, nag-outperform yung equal weighted Qs versus the RSP. But right now, it's doing this inside bar consolidation pattern. Typical movement after multiple days of momentum or bullish momentum. So maybe it's gonna retest the 89 level. If hindi, it's gonna coil, break above the 90. Then we will be experiencing a broader market rally. or a broadening out of market rallies. So, pwede ka na maghanap ng mga non-mega cap Nasdaq 100 names. Tignan mo na lang yung mga components na yung underlying components ng equal weighted Qs. So, that's our indices. No? Bottom line, pwede ka nang mag-rotate outward. Non-mega cap names. Pwede maghanap ka ng mga large cap names in the Nasdaq 100. For RSP, medyo iffy pa tayo. Small caps pass, mid caps pass. Bias natin is mega caps pa din and yung mga Nasdaq 100 names. So actually, meron akong binenta kahapon. So Apple, printed new all-time high. Pero binenta ko na siya kahapon eh. I sold half at 229. Tapos Oli, I'm still holding into it. I also have SEDG, a counter trend play. Medyo bagal lang yung internet. So kahapon, binenta ko na rin yung Oracle ko. Thankfully, nakapagbenta ako ng half dun sa high area. Punta tayo dito. Siya napakabagal ng internet. Yan. So thankfully, nakapagbenta tayo half at 144. Then yesterday, sadly, medyo nandito tayo nakabenta at 138.94. So gawa tayo ng post-mortem on this trade. Sooner or later. Actually, binili ko siya at 139 after this KC10, MA10 pullback. So, eto cores, na-fade ako dito eh. I entered dito nung Friday. Tapos na-wipe ako nung Monday. I was thinking na i-buyback ko siya. Pero my gut tells me na magcha-chop pa to. Dahil ano na nga rin, no, may mga upcoming high impact news tayo. So, meron tayo Avgo, HWM, Oli, pati Apple. I still have some Apple around 40%, 50% of my original position. So that's our updates in our positions. So let's look at internals. Wait lang. Puchang bagal talaga. Yan. So let's look at internals. So nandito pa rin siya sa 50 level. So parang flirting with the 50-day moving average yung MMTW natin or percent of stocks above the 20-day average. So no signs of true strength pa rin coming from this market breadth benchmark. So as long as we're still below 50, no signs of true strength pa rin talaga. Hindi pa siya broad market rally. Concentrated pa rin siya talaga in the Mag 7 names. So let's look at growth and value ratios. So as always, as expected, growth outperforms value. Same with mid caps, same with small caps. So focus on growth names. Pass ka muna talaga on value names. Unless you're trading mid caps, regardless, growth or value, halos at par yung dalawa. Okay, so let's talk yields, yung mga macro natin. So yesterday, after Fed Chair Powell's speech, actually wala naman masyadong impact on the US 10-year yield eh. Okay, nag-spike pero not too significant spike for us to become worried, no, na magpo-produce siya ng risk off signal in equities. So okay pa naman, still below the 100, still below the 50, and your 50 is about to cross below the 100-day moving average. So a declining US 10-year bond yield or yung US 10-year natin or TNX, if bumababa yan, it's producing a tailwind in equities or serving as tailwind to equities. So next, DXY, same thing. Below the 50-day, although above the 100-day, pero it created this lower high, tong dollar natin. So yesterday, after the testimony of Fed Chair Powell, nag-spike ng konti yung dollar. Pero wala namang too significant movement na tipong nag-break above this candle high, yung candle ng Friday. As long as we're still below the 50-day and wala tayong bullish candle close above the 50-day, itong blue line, I think okay pa naman yung dollar. So, syempre, ang gusto natin is a declining dollar, as always. So, let's look at Fed liquidity. Are there big movements in liquidity? Okay, so weekly time frame, medyo may downtick tayo. Most likely coming from, yung liquidity drain is coming from the WT region or yung Treasury General Account. Yung US checking account ng government, US government. So I think may mga bond auctions tayo yesterday. So that's Fed liquidity. So let's look at US oil, our inflation benchmark. So on the weekly, medyo bearish engulfing na siya. So sa daily time frame, right now it's trying to close below the 20-day. Almost on a 4-day decline in US oil natin. What I'm seeing is a lower high. I think a lower high. So what you want for US oil to do is to decline below or to break below the 100-day. Syempre. So break below 100-day, then that's gonna produce some optimism towards inflation again. So that's US oil. Let's look at gold on the daily. On the daily. So creating this inside bar. So nag-breakout dito sa RTL, create na inside bar. So after its breakout sa 50-day moving average, tapos yung 20-day moving average is about to cross the 50-day. So expecting some bullishness in gold. Wag lang sana na wag lang sana na ano no, yung dahilan ng pag-angat ng gold is due to geopolitical tensions again. So ano kasi tong gold medyo leading signal for geopolitical risks. So I think yung rally with gold is due to the dovish data releases last week. So let's see. Sensitive din kasi to with the dollar and with bonds as well. So let's look at sectors. Tignan natin yung market dashboard natin. So for sectors, okay. So for this week muna. Okay. So communications are good. Consumer discretionary and healthcare are doing good this trading week. Stay away from energy names. Yung pag-decline ng energy is most likely due to the decline in US oil. So ito yung mga top sectors natin. XLP, XLV, XLC, XLY, and XLK. Tech, communications, consumer discretionary, staples, and healthcare. So in industry groups, tignan natin yung mga leaders. Gold miners are leading. SOCMED names are doing good. Pharma is doing good as well. Video games and esports. So halos same components lang naman yan, yung dalawang yan. Nvidia, AMD, mga ganun. Karamihan mga semiconductors din. Okay, so yun lang naman yung mga highlights natin. So far in terms of trend, ito yung mga top sectors natin. Basta yung may 100% trend score. 100% trend score. Yung above the 10, above 20-day, above 50, 200, where 10 is above the 20, 20 is above the 50, or 50 sloping upward, 20 sloping upward. So yan yung mga sectors or industry groups na gusto natin. If we're strictly trading momentum and swing plays. Okay, so next, after this, let's talk earnings. So earnings drop. Tomorrow is Pepsi. So consumer discretionary name. So expect some volatility in XLY. Delta Airlines, airline name. Expecting some volatility in airline names as well tomorrow. So before the bell yung release niyan. JP Morgan, Citigroup, Wells Fargo will also drop their earnings on Friday before the bell. So on Thursday and Friday, as I've discussed, CPI, non-core, core, PPI as well to be released on Friday. So expect heavy volatility, spike in volatility, especially tomorrow and on Friday. Okay, so yun yung ano natin, earnings drop, and earnings calendar. So far, okay. Ang di na lang natin na di-discuss, PSEI. For midweek, situation awareness on the local market. So Wednesday, today's trading session in the Philippine market is quite bearish. So medyo bearish engulfing candle to, trying to break below the 50-day moving average. So one good thing I'm seeing with the PSE is itong undercut below the 6.4 level, undercut and reclaim. And looking at this immediate trading range or channel, kung ano man gusto mong tawagin dyan, nag-breakout na rin dito sa channel na to. So that's a good thing for the local index. So sa crypto, let's look at crypto. Midweek movement for crypto. So looks like a Wyckoff spring, di ba? Wyckoff spring at reaccumulation phase. So okay, that's good. Pero we're not yet creating a full candle close, a full bullish candle close above this 58.5K level. 58.5K level. So above the 10-day moving average is good. Above the 20-day is much better. That gives us the idea na tapos na tong undercut, pwede mag-consolidate dyan. Then, possibly, we can move higher, break above the 71K level. That's a possibility. And I think yung mga naghahanap ng support at 50K, pwedeng maiwan na sila pag nakita, pwedeng maiwan na sila and then they will be the one creating that aggressive buying at the 60K level. Since hindi na nila na-reach yung 50K level. I don't know. Ano lang naman yun. Something to take consider for yung psychology ng majority ng tao in crypto right now are looking for a buy on support at 50K. Pero for me, if it retraces to 50K, medyo broken chart na rin siya eh. Sira na yung structure. Madami ka ng taong naipit na pwedeng konting counter rally lang, magbebenta na sila. I'm not sure, pero that's one angle to look at. So that's Bitcoin. Ethereum bounced off at the 3K level. So ito yung sinasabi ko. Right now, we are about to break above this inside bar candle. Yan, inside bar at support. So once we break above, have a full candle close above this 3,100 level, then we might possibly experience a counter rally toward the 100-day papunta sa 3.3K level. So that's Ethereum and the crypto markets. So in conclusion, for this midweek market update, the markets are still rallying. Okay pa naman yung S&P 500. Yung Qs as well, normal na magkawan talaga ng onting indecision, bearish indecision at profit-taking areas. So best case is a mini coil, a 5 to 10 day consolidation. Pero since yun nga, as I've said, we are gonna experience two high impact news this week on Thursday, tomorrow, Friday as well. So expect some volatility either to the upside or to the downside. So the Qs is at the $500 resistance level. Okay, so far so good. Na-discuss ko naman na lahat. So if may questions kayo, chat lang kayo. So I hope na na-update ko kayo. Risk off muna, no? Risk off muna. If you have an open risk of 2%, maybe bring it down to 1% tapos i-chop mo into 3. Tipong per trade, 0.33% risk lang or 0.5%. Split it into half. Dapat at all times up to hanggang bukas, pati hanggang Friday, manage mo muna yung risk mo, lower down your risk exposure. Siyempre, papunta tayo dun sa high impact news, pwedeng magkaroon ng big impact yung lalabas na news na yun or yung inflation data na may release tomorrow. So, we shall see. No? So, good luck everyone. God bless and good luck on your next trades. Bye-bye.